Today we're going to talk all about nutrition for long or endurance rides. So endurance rides or long rides can be completely different for different people depending on where you're at in your cycling journey. So it can be your first 60k, it could be your first 100k, it could be your first 300k. It's going to be completely different for everybody, but the rules for it that I think is the same for everybody. So first off, the main underlying rule for everybody, no matter how far distance you're riding, is take more food than you think you're going to need. That is by far the best tip ever. Just always take enough food, because if you run out of food on a ride, you are going to bonk and you're going to bonk, and it's going to be horrific. I've done it several times and it is not fun. I would not recommend it. It makes any little tiny hill or any kind of problem, especially if you get a flat, getting a flat tire and bonking at the same time is like the worst thing ever. You feel like it's the end of the world. So just always make sure you have more food than you think you're going to need. And we'll talk later about all the types of different foods that I eat, but I'm going to go into that later on. The second tip is always have enough water. Always have more water than you think you're going to need, because you need to stay hydrated. It's not just about food, it's about making sure that you're drinking enough water so that you're weeing every couple of hours and it's pretty much clear. So you want to make sure that you're hydrated, because sometimes, especially even when you're out, sorry I'm talking really fast, aren't I? Slow down, Katie. I think sometimes when you're out riding in winter, you don't realise that you're sweating a lot, and you are sweating, but it's just drying because it's so cold, so you kind of don't realise that you're getting more dehydrated. So always make sure that you're drinking enough water. Then what I would say is make sure that you're eating and drinking every 15 minutes or so. It doesn't have to be bang on 15, but I think every 15 minutes is a good amount of time to kind of mentally remember just to eat and sip something. It doesn't have to be like a whole Cliff Bar, it doesn't have to be a sandwich, it could literally just be a swag of like sugary water, sugary sports drink, or a quarter of a Cliff Bar, or just something just to keep you ticking over, because that is what the whole point of endurance and long rides is. It's just kind of a very steady, you're never going to be smashing out, big watts, you're just going to be steady the whole way. So if you just keep topping your food up, topping your water up as you go, you should be fine. That's the best tip that I think you can ever have, is just every 15 minutes just have a little bit of something. So you're going to see later on, but the main foods that I eat when I'm riding, they're all high carb, they're all vegan, and that is what I feel my body works on best. That is what your body will work off best. And I just absolutely love having high carb vegan foods, because they just digest really well, they keep you fueled, they just keep you going. I just love that. Most like pro athletes, they're not smashing down like steaks, they're not eating burgers, they're not eating like big fatty meals, they're eating really like high carb clean meals. So that's what I eat and that's what I choose to eat. That's how I feel like I've performed best, and that is just going to be a variety of plant-based foods. That's personally what I think. If you are interested in this kind of stuff, it's a really good book. It's called 8-10-10, and that just talks about nutritional performance on vegan high carb food. So that's a really good book if you are interested. What I would also add on to that is eat foods that you enjoy. There's no point me saying to you, oh, I enjoy eating dates, and you're like, actually I cannot stand dates, like I hate dates. There's no point you eating something that you don't like, because you won't eat it. You need to have foods that you enjoy on rides, and that's the best way that you're going to get energy in, is just eating the foods that you enjoy. So that's another little tip. Eat the foods that you enjoy the most. And I see people having like full-on meals on not particularly long rides, and I'm like, I don't know how they do that. I couldn't eat like massive, big, heavy, greasy, fatty meal on a ride. I just can't do it. But that's me personally. Everyone is different. If you work best and you can ride best on like having a big meal like that, then do it. But I feel what works best for me is just eat a little bit every so often. So these are the main types of foods that I'm going to eat when I'm riding. So we've got High Five Energy Sauce, which is the summer fruits one. We've got dates, gels, hike bars. If you've not tried hike bars from Aldi, they are amazing. They're like the third of the price of a Cliff Bar. So nice. And they're actually gluten free as well. Low in fat, good good bars those, and then obviously Cliff bars. And that is what I'm going to take with me tomorrow. So I've got 2 litres worth of High Five, a packet of dates, 4 hike bars, a gel, and 2 Cliff bars. And so for tomorrow, that amount is probably going to be around 2,500 calories, I would estimate, for all that. And bearing in mind my last ride, 200k, was I burnt around 4,000 calories, so you do need a lot of food, a heck of a lot of food. So yeah, that might seem a lot to some people and a lot of sugar, but that is what I take. I might not even eat it all, but that is what I will take in my bag on the back, just to ensure that I've got enough of my food that I enjoy eating on the ride, because that's the worst thing. Yes, you can stop off at shops, but what if they don't have something that you like or that you enjoy? So I like to be self-sufficient. One thing that I do eat at shops, or if there's like a Co-op or a Tesco or something, one of my favourite things to eat, it's a bit of a guilty pleasure. It is a crisp sandwich. Yes, it's classy, but I just absolutely love having a crisp sandwich. I think it's because it's quite savoury and quite salty, when I'm used to having lots of sugary stuff. So yeah, I'm a bit of a sucker for a crisp sandwich when I'm out on the bike on a long ride. So yes, I will have a crisp sandwich. What else is there? I'll sometimes have fruit juice as well. If I can't get anything else that I like in the shop, I'll get like a juice or a smoothie or something. And if you are thinking now, oh, like all that sugar, like that's too much, I'm gonna gain weight, I'm gonna, you know, it's gonna make riding harder. Like I can't emphasize it enough to you. I have lost so much weight from eating that kind of foods, doing these kind of rides, and just generally eating healthily. So don't be put off. Don't be put off by the sugar. You just need it. You need to have glucose. You need to have sugars to fuel these long rides. And I think that's the kind of the trick to remember with Audax rides and long distance riding, is they're just slow and steady. You don't need to have like you're not going to have like these massive surges of power where you just have to have like hardly anything in your stomach. You can actually eat and just go steady. And that's the best thing. That's the best kind of advice I would give you, is just eat little and often, just eat steady, just pedal steady, and you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. Also as well, one last tip is always keep some cash in your bag, on your bike, in your pocket or something, just in case you need any food or water when you're out and about. But I think that is pretty much it. I think it takes a long time to learn personally what is right for you, because what works for me might not work specifically for you. And if someone is heavier than me, they're going to need more calories than me. If someone's lighter than me, they're not going to need as much food. So you've got to weigh that up as well. If you've got any tips for endurance riding, on long rides, tell us what you take in your bag with you. Tell us what you enjoy eating. And I think that's pretty much it. So I hope that you found this helpful. If you've got any more questions about riding, cycling, anything at all, leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you next video.